Hey guys, it's the APUSH team. We're back. All right, so the AP test, as you guys probably know, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware, dropped on Friday, and we have a lot more information from now. And the first thing we have for you is you got this, okay? You guys have a 45-minute DBQ to college credit. That is all you have to do, all right? Now, here's why we're coming to you today, and we will go through this a lot more in the weeks to come. The rubric that we have been teaching you all year has changed. It is no longer a 7-point DBQ. It is a 10-point DBQ, and it will count for 100% of your entire grade to get college credit, all right? Now, here's the good news. You still need a thesis, 1 point. The good news, you still need contextualization, 1 point. The better news, you have to only use, there are only 5 documents, not 7 anymore. You only have to use and tie back 2 documents, and for that, guys, you'll never get this from us again. You get 2 points just to tie back 2 documents. If you tie back 4 documents, you get 3 points. That is absolutely incredible that you only have to tie back 2 documents, all right? Before, you needed 1 point to get for 1 piece of outside information. You still get 1 point for 1 piece of outside information, but if you can put in 2, you get 2 points. And did we mention it's open note? And then finally, you used to get 1 point for 3 haps, all right? Now you get 1 point for 1 hap, and if you're really motivated, you get 2 points for 2 haps, all right? We have broken this down, guys. We figure that the vast majority of you, if not all of you, can easily get a 6 on this new rubric. It is very doable. There are some other issues which we're going to talk about, and I will pass that on to Ms. Ulrich to discuss those.
All right, so as Mr. Brigham mentioned, it is online, obviously, and it is open note. So we're going to make sure, Ms. Shack's going to talk to you in a little bit about what sort of exam essentials that we're going to help you compile so that you're most efficient with your time. But just because it's open note doesn't mean that you can be talking to other people during the exam, whether that's through social media, talking on the phone, through the internet, whatever. You have to do your exam on the day of the exam, totally on your own. You're going to use just 1 device during the actual exam, so you want to make sure you decide what device that is, whether it's your Chromebook or what have you, but you can't be bouncing between devices. Make sure you have a good internet connection, and the College Board has reiterated to us, and we want to make sure that you are crystal clear, that they obviously know this is online and know that this is open note, but that doesn't mean that plagiarism is going to be tolerated. So they take that, and we take that incredibly seriously. So they've told us that they have invested a lot of money into plagiarism detection software. They also are giving us your exams this year for the first time ever. So we'll be able to see what you wrote after the exams, if there's any questions and so forth. So just make sure you do your own work, okay? That also means, though, that we're going to help you with Quizlet terms and so forth. But on the review sheets that Ms. Shack's going to talk to you about, you want to make sure that you put any Quizlet definitions in your own words, because we don't know, obviously, if that software then would pick up and accuse you of cheating. So just make sure you do your own work. Everything's in your own words, and there won't be a problem. If you do decide to not follow these rules, the College Board has said that your AP scores will be canceled. All the colleges that you've applied to or potentially will apply to will be contacted. You won't be allowed to take future AP tests, SATs, which is also administered by the College Board. So just do your own work. And that means that as we work through reviews, that you're going to want to make sure that you do your own work for us as the APUSH team, because as we just reiterated, you're not going to be able to work with other people on May 15th. There will be opportunities for you to work with other people for APUSH assignments, but we will make those abundantly clear. So otherwise, work independently, because that's what you're going to be doing on May 15th. All right, you can do it. Ms. Schacht.
Okay, so as you guys heard, obviously you will have an opportunity to use notes on May 15th. And while that may sound really appealing and very exciting, you don't have a whole lot of time in the grand scheme of things to be constantly sifting through handouts, websites, books, etc. 45 minutes is your time limit to actually look at the documents and write the entire DBQ. So believe it or not, you're not going to have time to sift through all your notes. So in order to help you guys, we will be developing what we refer to as the exam essentials. What does that mean? So what we've done is we're going to continue to compile a series of handouts that we think should be the number one resource that you consult and use for the test on May 15th. And what that is going to consist of is a list of APUSH stories and themes that apply to each historical time period. All we know is that the DBQ is going to come from periods 3 through 7, so the stories will ultimately focus on those historical time periods. And within those themes and stories, you'll have an opportunity to relearn the history, apply Quizlet terms, as Ms. Ulrich said, in your own words, of course, that apply to each story, so that when you do see the DBQ prompt, you know exactly what time period to go to, and perhaps the themes and pieces of outside evidence that could potentially apply. On top of that, we will also be developing a contextualization cheat sheet, if you will, that will help you create good contextualization for any variety of prompts that you may get. And in addition to that, things like the HAP sentence starters and the different DBQ skills will also be a part of the exam essentials, but we cannot stress enough that we're working really hard to develop that for you guys, so that should be the number one resource that you are using on May 15th. And we know this is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache, and we know you're going to rock it. So to that, how are we going to review? I'm going to pass that off to Mr. Irvin.
So you guys, like, we can't stress enough just how much everything that we've done all year has already built a strong foundation for you guys to do really, really well on this test. What we're really trying to do is just kind of fine tune some things that we've been talking about all year, and also just help you guys get organized so that you're really, really ready to go and you can maximize the resources available to you on the day of the AP exam. So ultimately, like, I just want to reiterate what the other APUSH teachers are saying, which is that you guys got this. This is a test that's going to be right in your wheelhouse. You guys are going to be really, really successful. We just need to kind of cross that finish line together over the next 6 weeks. So we've been spending a lot of time together in the last week or so, trying to figure out what is the best way for us to review with you guys so that we're maximizing our time, as little as we have together. Because 6 weeks may seem like a lot, but it's going to go by really, really quick. So here's what we're going to be doing. We essentially are going to try to focus on the following big goals for the next 6 weeks. Number one, we want to review the time periods. Week in and week out, we want to spend some time working on the different time periods that are going to appear on the test. So the test itself could be between periods 3 and 7. So each week we want to roll out and just kind of review with you guys, here's what you need to know about period 3. As Ms. Shack said, we're going to do that through essential stories. We also want to fine tune some of your DBQ skills. The DBQ encompasses a lot of different things that we've worked on over the course of the year. We're going to practice thesis creation again. We're going to practice contextualization. We're going to practice developing outside evidence. We're going to practice happy. All of that is going to be part of the stuff that we're doing week in and week out. We want you to get familiar with the new formatting. It's very, very similar to the DBQ that we've already practiced, but the fact that it's a slightly different time frame, the fact that it's probably going to be typed now, the fact that there's a few little differences in what you have to do, we're going to practice that so that you're a little bit more comfortable and that you're good with not only the pacing but also the new rubric. And lastly, as we said, we're going to try to help you not only create the resources, but we also want to practice using those resources over the next few weeks so that you're able to make your 45 minutes count for that college credit that we want you to earn. So here's what our weekly schedule is going to essentially come down to. Each week, we're going to focus on a different period. We're going to start with period 3 this coming week because it's the first week, the first period that is potentially on the exam. And we're going to ask you to start to review the period, to go through some of the information, look at some of the big ideas that make up that period, and start to kind of also examine some Quizlet terms that could be used to help us understand the big things that are going on. you're going to be working to complete a template that was created by teachers that will then serve as almost like an open note for you on the day of the AP exam. And it's so important to go back to what Ms. Ulrich says, that's your own words, so that it reflects what you know, and it reflects the way that you would write on the day of the AP exam. The second thing that we're going to be doing every week is we're going to be working on some practice questions. So every week we're going to do a practice 5-document DBQ, same format as the actual AP test, to get ready for the real thing on May 15th. And the DBQ for that week is always going to be the same topic as the period that we're working on. So this coming week, we're going to be doing a digital DBQ template on period 3 that addresses some of the big content that we're going to be talking about and that you're going to be reviewing as you create that cheat sheet, if you will. There's 2 sessions that we have each week with your teachers. Now, it's going to vary depending on what your class period is. Some of you are going to be meeting with your teachers first session on Monday, second session on Wednesday. For others, you're going to be meeting with your teachers on Tuesday, Thursday. But regardless of when you're meeting with your teachers, what we're going to be focusing on each of those sessions is these goals that we're talking about. So for session 1, we're going to be focusing on the content of the period, helping to make sure that we understand what are those big stories that make up each period, what are some of the most important pieces of evidence and terms that we can throw in there, answering questions and helping with maybe areas of confusion. On that second session, we're going to be focusing on practicing DBQ skills. And then we can help you with, okay, we can focus on a thesis one day. We can focus on a contextualization. There's going to be other optional opportunities that are out there as well. There's videos to watch. There's tons and tons of resources that we're going to be putting together for you guys as well. But this is going to be the main structure of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis to get you guys ready. We feel like that this is going to be a good plan. It's going to keep us organized. It's going to keep us moving forward. And when it's all said and done, our guarantee for you guys is that if you follow this plan and you do your best, that you're going to walk away May 15th feeling confident that you did a great job. And we're going to be proud of the work that you put in as well. As far as grading is concerned, last thing to address, that's going to be done by an individual basis from teacher to teacher. And so more information will be coming out about that from each individual APUSH teacher. But ultimately, guys, I'm excited to kind of finish this home stretch with you guys. And I think that it's just a matter of, finishing the strong work we've been doing together all year. And you guys, this is something that's going to play to all of your strengths. And it's going to be something that you guys are going to you're just going to crush it. I know it.
APUSH.
You guys can do this, and we're here for you.
We believe in you.
Wait.
Hearts and sparkles.
Take care, guys.